Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Views from the 906 podcast. My name is Dylan Hemela. Today I'm joined by Mike J. Williams, Parker Miller, and back on the show is Ray Brice to talk about the past couple weekends of hockey at Tech. Ray, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing all right. I'm sicker than a dog. We took the red eye out of Fairbanks Saturday night, and I probably got 2 hours of sleep total in the past from Saturday night to Sunday, and I don't know what got me, but it's not good.
Well, you're an absolute legend, and we appreciate you jumping on even in those conditions.
Yeah,
Anytime.
2 hours is better than no hours.
See, you got that going for you.
Yeah, I should have wore one of those masks.
We will we'll jump back a couple of weekends here to the big series at NMU. Can you talk us through, I guess, Friday night, the vibes in the locker room before the game, and how this all goes down?
Yeah, I mean, Friday night, obviously, anytime Northern comes to town, the place is going to be electric, and it was that was a great game. That was one of the funnest games that I've played at Michigan Tech. I know that the crowd was unbelievable, and to win it in that fashion was surreal. So,
and you guys won 3-2 both nights. That's correct.
Yeah.
And then going into Saturday, that's a crazy one. 2 minutes into the game, you score a big goal. Walk us through that.
Yeah, I was trying to. There's the right winger on my line was driving the net, and I was trying to hit his stick, and it hit their D-man skate and bounced in. I think their goalie probably wanted that one back, but I'd take the bounce, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take when you get them.
Yeah, I needed that big time. So,
what's the atmosphere in Marquette there, and then leading into the big fight at the end? How's that kind of play out?
Yeah, that was I didn't really see what happened. I think one of their guys jumped our guys, and then it just turned into a big smear fest.
Yeah, it sounds about right. That's was it Griff Lofner, I think his last name is, for Northern there. He was acting just like a little pit bull on the ice all night.
Yeah, he's a little scrappy guy, but it was interesting to see that play out. And I remember the best part was one of their fans threw a pretzel at Jerusik, our goalie, and he took it, which was hilarious.
Were you at all involved in the aftermath of that?
No, I wasn't on the ice. So
all I can remember is after the fight broke out and everything they were trying to get everything thrown away. The officials were, and you're standing there over by the scorekeeper's box, just your hands on your hips, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. What were they saying to you over there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember what much. I was just like, there's only 1.2 seconds left. Let's just try to. I was more arguing for the face-off to come outside, because with 1.2 seconds, it's pretty hard to get a scoring chance for Northern if the face-off's outside there. So that's what we were trying to vouch for.
Thinking ahead, I like that a lot.
But
what's in game one? I saw that you had a 10-minute penalty. What was that all about?
Yeah, that wasn't me. I served the penalty, and I think they screwed that up. That wasn't actually me. I was just serving. One of my teammates got unsportsmanlike.
Okay, gotcha.
2 and 10. So I just served the. I was actually serving the 2.
That's what I figured. Something had happened. I just wanted.
I mean, you ain't got to lie to kick it, but
he's like, boys, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I promise.
Right.
So that's obviously a big series, and then you beat him in Marquette, and then moving on. What was the travel like to Alaska?
Yeah, so we drove to Chicago Tuesday after practice. We had early practice because we're on Thanksgiving break, and drove to Chicago and then flew out at, I think it was 7:15 Chicago time Wednesday morning. Got into Fairbanks at like 3:34-ish Fairbanks time, which would be 8 back home. So it's a pretty long day of travel.
Yeah.
So how does that play? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was saying, how does that play in, like, as far? I mean, I know it's part of the game, even in football and all sports, hockey, like, but going all the way to Alaska, time change. I mean, it has to take a huge toll on your body, and I mean, obviously you're sick too, so.
Yeah, that time change gives them home ice advantage, especially Friday. I thought our legs were slow. Probably still had travel legs, and it's definitely home ice advantage for them. Saturday night, you're a little more settled, and I thought our legs were a lot better on Saturday.
Right.
Thankfully, I didn't get sick until yesterday. So,
and then
the jet lag is an obvious problem Friday night, as you guys lost that game. But then you said the Saturday game, you guys kind of fell into rhythm, got into your groove a little bit, and walk us through that game and your game winner.
Yeah, I thought we were just a lot better. We felt like ourselves. I think we competed hard, definitely harder. I don't know if they were as good on Saturday though either, but I thought we definitely played to our structure better. And that game winner, I think the credit goes to my line or the guy that was on the ice with Alex Smith. He actually scored that goal, so I think they screwed that up. So he deflected my shot in the net.
I mean, hey man, again, we're gonna take them where we can, huh? So
Right.
it's got to feel good. You know, you're involved in the mix there. So hey, you came
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
show, you
finally
went out and
started
got
to-
points in back-to-back weekends, and
Yeah, get on the score sheet a little bit, so that's nice. I
you
needed
know
that.
you're playing well, getting your opportunities like you were hoping for.
Right.
Backtracking just a little bit to Thursday. Do you have Thanksgiving dinner with the boys, or how'd that go down?
Yeah, we had a meal up there, catered in. It was all right to say the least.
You got your home away from home with the boys, so
Right. Not going to elaborate too much into that.
yeah,
but
you got into it.
I had some pie and it was good.
So I see you guys got a couple of big weekends at home coming up, and then into the GLI in the end of December. You guys are at 500 now. You know, what's the scene moving forward here?
Yeah, we're obviously hoping that we can take both this weekend. We know that Anchorage isn't the strongest team, but we still have to come out and play top of our game. Clarkson will be a good team coming in here. I don't know if they've ever been here, so that'll be a fun series. Then we get 2 or 10 days off or whatever going to the GLI and go down to Detroit and look to win that.
Absolutely, that'd be a big one too.
Now, with you guys being 500 in the conference and you guys are just under halfway done with the season, how do you guys look ahead as the rest of the season? And because I don't think the conference is out of reach for you guys. What do you think?
No, definitely not. We're actually, I'm not sure if you guys know what pairwise is, but that's how they determine the tournament rankings. And I think we're 11 or 13 right now, which would get us a bid into the tournament no matter what currently if the tournament started tomorrow. So we just need to win as many games as possible and keep that pairwise ranking up. So when the end of the year comes, we can get a bid into the tournament. Pretty much it.
Yeah, I saw you guys were getting some votes there anyway.
Yeah, and that's the votes come. That's a different poll. The pairwise ranking is determined mathematically by strength of schedule and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
The votes come from writers for the USCHO and USA Hockey, I think.
So you guys are still in a good spot, man, and you know, like we said, you appeared on the show, went out and got some points. So we'll be hoping to have you back later on in the season, and we wish you guys luck moving into December
Yeah, I
and into the
appreciate
GLI
that.
at the end of the month, and hope you guys have a good holidays up that way and just keep winning games, man.
Thank you. Yep, thanks for having me on, boys.
We appreciate you having
Sorry I
on,
wasn't,
sick and all, man. Thank you so
top
much.
shape.
If you keep scoring points after showing up on the show, I mean, it's just got to become a thing of you just coming back on and scoring more
Right.
points.
Hey, buddy,
What,
we'll see you before
what
the
they call that,
GLI.
a chicklets bump? You guys listen to Spit and Chicklets?
Yeah. I know of it. I
Yeah.
haven't listened to it. No.
Chicken. They call that a chicklets bump when the guy. They have the guy on the show and then he does well. So then
There it is.
906 bump there.
Well, we might have to see you before the GLI, pal. So good luck
All right.
these next couple of series, and take care, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on, boys.
Later. There again was Raymond Brice, captain of the Michigan Tech Husky hockey team. He's been playing well lately, getting his opportunities like he had hoped, and he's welcome on the show at any time. Good for Tech hockey; they're playing well. I want to go back. We had talked about this on the last episode. Aniah Blanchard, the stepdaughter of UFC fighter Walt Harris. She had died today. It came out that she had died of a gunshot wound, and I guess the DA wants the suspect to get the death penalty, which is what we wanted to begin with. But I want to correct something we were talking about. We had said it was like $250,000 bond or whatever. It was only $60,000, but that's still a lot, bro.
What?
Like, it's crazy. That's what who pays that? To me, only somebody who pays that is somebody who's going to go out and do it again. Why else pay all that money? He already knows he's screwed.
Yeah, he's done.
I mean,
he should have known going into that. If he gets out on bail and does and especially in Alabama, he's gonna face a death penalty. Like that, they're gonna kill him obviously now. Like you have
But
to.
he had to have known that before. So that's you know what I'm saying. So why not go and do some more shit?
Yeah,
they let you out. You know you're gonna probably die anyway. So it's just it's sickening, man.
It is.
It just sucks for that
It
family.
is.
Like now that person's gone. And if this isn't
Yep.
like Walt Harris and him associated with the UFC, we probably don't even hear about this. This stuff happens all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's just really shitty, man. Like you could have saved a life. Period. This guy was just gonna.
Yeah,
He
well,
posted his bail and went out and just did it again. Like you could have just saved a life.
Yep.
That's I don't
who
know.
knows if he's
That
done
had
any
it had to have
others,
been
though.
the person who bailed him out had to have been like I'll say a private person, meaning like somebody he knew and not just like some bondsman, you know?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just
for
it's
sure.
so shitty, bro.
I want to know what happened to his eye, because in the mugshot, his eye is swollen shut.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking, it like somebody fucked him
Do
up.
you think that it was somebody random? Part of me wants to believe that Walt Harris, obviously probably tight with the police at this point, going back and forth in communication. And I feel like there's some people out there would be like, hey, man, when we get this guy, you can get a good swing at him before we fucking lock him up. I hope
was
that's what
thinking
happened.
that.
I hope that's what happened.
You would think so, but I don't think they're going to risk a capital murder case.
I mean, that's probably true. Yeah, you're probably right, Mike. It's silly thinking, but I my heart wants that. You know what I'm saying? I hope he has the opportunity. Just do what you can with him. But would the cops? I feel like the cops would do some shit like that too. If you're wanted for kidnapping
No,
and
for
shit,
sure.
like, and you're restraining
For
in any
sure.
way, you're getting hit, bro.
That's probably what happened. Is
Yeah.
he was probably run or something they got, or they just say he was run. Like they definitely, for sure, fucked his face up. That's what I'm guessing happened. Yeah.
It's just tough, man. I wish, and maybe it's not true justice, but I wish Walt Harris could just have him for 5 minutes.
I know. I know.
That's
I
fair
do
to me.
too.
That's fucking fairness.
Yep.
You make sure you prove that he's 100% guilty, and then you give him the Walt. And man, that's
Actually, you know what you could hope more for is in prison before his death penalty, somebody gets to him, because that could happen.
yeah.
I mean, it could happen. Give him the old Jeffrey Dahmer
But you don't want to leave
death.
it up to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't.
Walt
But it
wants
would
that
be
in his
better
own
than
hands.
him. It would be better than him dying that way, in my
Yeah.
opinion, than
Oh,
getting
for
it
sure.
peacefully through fucking lethal injection.
Yeah, I agree.
Because how long does what's the average time that somebody sits on death row?
It's probably a
Years.
while. Yeah, I mean, he's
It's
probably not
years.
going to die for years.
Right.
Like a guy was on death row for like 10 years, I think, in Texas. Or longer, maybe about 10 years. Yeah, so it all depends. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, there's
but
people
it
on death
depends. I
row
know
who
that's
have been proven innocent, bro. Like, think about that.
yeah.
Think about
It's
that.
a huge shortage on lethal injection, and there actually been I saw this thing a few years ago. The guy ended up killing himself anyway, but he was on death row and he volunteered. They're using fentanyl to they're trying it because it's such a huge shortage. I don't know what the chemical's called on lethal injection that we're gonna start using fentanyl.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never
everybody
thought
else
about
has
what it was.
fentanyl.
Yeah, that shit's scary, man.
I
Yep.
never really knew what the lethal injection stuff was, like what exactly it is. I guess none of us know right now, but it never crossed my mind, like, hey, what is that? I just knew of it as a thing.
No,
Mhm.
well, what happens is like they put him to sleep and then they inject him with this poison.
Is it like
So
can they feel it? Like, is there any science
No.
behind, like, what you just can't feel it at all?
No, you're put to sleep. There's like
You're
an
basically going to
anesthetic.
sleep.
Yeah. Damn. But
Yep,
just imagine being
that's-
on death row and being proven innocent. Like, yo, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah,
y'all are
right.
about to have me out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That
Um,
I'm looking at this big bean under this dude's eye, and it reminds me of this time where I don't know what the statute of limitations are on this, but me and one of my friends, we had to run from the cops. And
all right, well, here we go.
And long story short is my buddy's driving. He decides that he wants to run from the cops. And I'm just like, well, okay, this is by far the craziest thing I've ever done. And he stops the truck like immediately right in the middle of the road, hops out, I jump out. And then the next day I get a phone call from him, and I was like, well, what are your charges? And he's like, well, they got me for resisting arrest, fleeing, eluding, all this shit. And I'm like, okay, typical stuff for exactly what we did. And I ended up getting away. And Like-
Shout out to that guy.
I outran my cop, but the cop that caught him was actually a former NHL goalie.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
And from Calumet? Was it?
Yeah.
Was he from the Calumet Post? My dad told me about him.
Let's not give out any names or any information here.
No.
And so
I don't even know his name, but yeah.
My buddy's hiding underneath a school bus that's relative to where we parked. It's probably about 100 yards away. So my buddy comes out of the school bus, like giving himself up, surrendering. And I guess the cop just fucking walloped him in the face. Like smoked him. And he had he had a giant shiner, and I'm pretty sure all of his charges got dropped because of excessive force.
Oh, really?
You would think
Played a big part. No, I feel
unless
you.
he's resisting and shit, then you can. But if he's
I mean,
coming
he
out
literally
on
is
his
resisting.
own,
He's running away, but yeah, I get it. Once he gives up, that's kind of awesome for both parties, honestly. The cop gets his in. He made me fucking run, you little bastard, and then
he was probably pissed.
As long as you guys weren't like hiding bodies, I think it's all right, you know.
Yeah,
right.
I got a funny story about Mike's first DUI. So, me and my brother.
I mean, all right, let's go.
Look, me and Tyler were riding through the woods, and I was already pretty drunk, and we were just booze cruising. We're in his truck, and
me and you were at the bar before that.
Yeah, well, Tyler wasn't drinking. I was just drunk because I was drinking with Mike before, and he was going out to this party. And I told Tyler, I was like, bro, let's take your truck, because I obviously wasn't driving. And I was like, let's go to the gravel pit, this party. He's like, all right. So we're taking the back trails wherever we go. And then I see Mike's car with the hazards on, a bunch of cop cars behind him, and I'm like, fuck. So we pull up. I see Mike handcuffed in the back of the car, right? And then he's like looking, trying to see who it is, and I'm not gonna say what cop or who it was. Name came up to the window, Tyler's window, and we were talking to me, asked for going to the gravel pit. Like, yeah, we're gonna go check it out. Whatever. He's like, yeah, it's busted down. We're like, okay, well, whatever. And Tyler's like, well, hey, you want one of us to drive Mike's car so he doesn't got to get it towed? I'm looking at Tyler like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? I'm hammered. He's like, let me go check. He goes and asks the arresting cop if they can take my car, ask Mike or whatever. And then I'm like, all right, I jump out the truck and go fucking drive Mike's car home.
What the fuck, bro?
I'm like, Mike, were you even 21?
Yeah, I had just turned 21. It was my dad's birthday, actually.
Oh,
Me and my dad went out boozing all day, and then I met up with you that night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think me and you were drinking till probably at least 12:30, 1 a.m. And then we're like, yeah, let's go to this fucking party.
Yeah, that was hilarious, man. I'll never forget that. And I just jump out the truck, walk by all the cops, and jump in Mike's car and fucking drive it home. And my brother picks me up.
Bro, those parties are never worth it, ever.
I had this girl with me too, and she was 20, so she got an MIP, and she was so mad at me. She's like, we're sitting in the cop car. She's just like, I fucking hate you. Oh my god! And it was Justin's girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, I remember.
Did
she
you get
crying.
pulled over? Mike?
What's that?
You got pulled over?
Yeah.
Like leaving the party, or where was that?
Yeah, I left the party.
Oh shit!
And then they snagged me.
They're probably just waiting.
I mean, what's crazy, and for people listening, like if you're not from that area, it's just it's honestly, and it's really shitty to say this, it's really terrible, but that's such a normal thing growing up in the UP. Like, you go to some party in the woods somewhere, you get drunk, you drive home. There's nobody on the road but you. It's still a terrible fucking thing, and man. I don't recommend it. It's just the way it is. I hate to say it. It's just the fucking way it is, man. There's fucking 45-year-old men going to a bar, getting hammered, and driving 30 miles home on a highway that nobody's on. I don't know.
I learned that the hard way. I moved down here and got a DUI within 6 months. I've never had a ticket in my life. Totaled a 2017 Hyundai, got T-boned. That sucked.
Yeah, it's honestly really scary that it happens so much where we're from. But again, it's just the way it is, man. There's no Uber. There's no taxi to come pick you up in some party in the woods. You know what I'm saying? It's just the nature of the beast, honestly. Kind of the same thing. And talking about I want to talk about those fucking gravel pit parties, bro. Like, there's such a mixture. I always felt out of place there when I went there. It's just like, it's a weird mixture, man. There's people in their fucking Jeeps going up this hill, like running over trees and shit. There's cars trying to go up these hills. I won't mention the girl's name, but we were leaving one time, and this bitch grabs a shotgun out of her car and she's like holding it up, like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" Like just partying, not mad at anybody or whatever. But I'm like, yo, like this is where some shit happens, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care what's in that gun if it's loaded. Or, like it's just not the time.
It's not the time.
That's when we had left at that point.
Drunk.
But I was like, what are you doing, you psycho? Like.
I was out at a party at some dude's house out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and my friend and somebody else got in this fight, and this old ass dude whose house it was, was throwing the party, was gonna bash my friend over the head with like a bottle of whiskey. So I ended up grabbing this dude, like pinning him up against the wall by his throat and arm, so he's not gonna smash my friend. And I let go of him, and not even 5 minutes later, he comes out of his bedroom with a fucking shotgun and just blasts a hole through his ceiling.
Really?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Yep, looking right at me, telling me to get the fuck out, and I was like, "All right, I'm gone, man."
Yeah, I'll leave.
You don't gotta tell me twice, buddy. We'll see you next time.
I think the 20 gauge round said it all, man.
I mean, yeah, say no more, fam. We're out. What the fuck?
That's fucking
people
crazy.
Are just weird, man. Like
It was wild.
People's ego. I think it's a lot of dudes and their egos get to them, is what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of it, like people can't take humbling experiences. Like if you get your ass kicked, learn from it. You know, people get. No matter how strong you are, everybody at some point will get their ass beat. Like,
Yeah.
and if you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. But dude, some guys can't handle it and just act.
Think
like
about how you're
fucking
thinking right
children.
now. That's like such an open-minded thing to say. Who the fuck is open-minded in the UP? Like nobody.
No one.
No.
So
I'm not gonna say no one.
Well, yeah, but you get it. Like a
majority.
large majority is just not open-minded about shit. So when you get challenged, you're
even
coming back.
Even though I live in the UP, I've still been out and about enough outside of the UP to know like what it's actually like in the real world.
Right.
Not this secluded little area of Upper Peninsula.
It's so
me and Parker talked about this. We had, I think it was me and Park texting about this. Like it's so different once you move out. Like, and I don't want to be that guy to be like, oh, I left, so I'm better than you type of thing. But it's honestly, bro, like joining the Navy and just being with other people from all walks of life. Like I had the dumbest fucking views on shit, bro. Like just the dumbest, including like the Kaepernick situation at first. Like before I actually had somebody, and it wasn't even somebody I respected. Just some random guy that I worked with talked to me about the situation and what it actually means to that community. I was just a fucking idiot. And now like, you meet new people, you get in new fucking cultures, and you just, I don't know, you learn so much about where you're from. It's wild.
A lot of it is crazy. It's just a lack of. It's just people not doing their research on things.
Ignorance.
Ignorance,
it's just not knowing.
Exactly.
It's just not knowing.
That's what the definition of ignorance is. What it is.
Yeah.
And
it's
the fact of. I don't think people want to have a different mindset up there because they'll get made fun of, or people will just fucking harp on them like a bunch of douchebags too.
That's part of the equation, but I honestly just think it's ignorance, bro. They just don't.
Yeah.
We didn't know any better. All we knew is our environment and the people around us. That's all you can know. How are you supposed to know anything else? So like when somebody's on Facebook like bitching about the wall and like Trump making these rules and like, hey, build the wall, like tired of this immigration stuff, like, bro, you live on the border of Canada. How the fuck are you talking about what's going on in states bordering Mexico, bro? I live in San Diego, bro. Like there's people that travel into the country and work honest livings and drive back into Mexico at night, like thousands of people. And you just know nothing about anything that goes on down there. You watch Fox News or whatever the fuck you're watching, but to just be bitching about some shit that you've never even been around, period. You're as far north as you could possibly be in the United States, and you're bitching about immigration from Mexico?
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, bro.
You'll never see those people get to Michigan.
I live in Marquette.
You'll never get across to those people. Yeah,
the people in Marquette are still pretty, like, they're a lot more progressive than anywhere else that I've been in the UP.
I would agree with that.
And part of it is really, really annoying because they're just, they like to think that they're woke, but they're just dumb. You know, like everybody has a right to feel a certain way or view things a certain way.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, we're being brought into this culture currently where everything has to be PC, everything has to be a certain way. Like, otherwise you're going to piss off a handful of people that really shouldn't and don't matter. But they make it seem like it's the end of the world.
It's not even you're not even pissing off a handful of people. Like the things that are happening, and I think a lot of like I don't we're not talking about anything specific right now, but a lot of the things we're moving towards, it's good for humanity overall, right?
I
Like we
agree.
shouldn't be talking like fucking jerks to each other and calling, using these certain like words and stuff.
Right.
That's just better for humanity, man. Just be a good fucking person.
Yeah, it's not hard.
That doesn't mean that you can't
Yeah.
go into your friend's house and say, "What's going on, you fucking cocksucker?"
Yeah, exactly,
Exactly.
exactly. But the people who complain and what make it onto social media and stuff and the things that get retweeted, that's such a small percentage, bro. There's a stat that came out. I don't know the exact thing. It came out a couple months ago. You probably have heard about it, but whatever. The people who are bitching the loudest, like just any sort of parades that are going on and stuff of things, that's the 1%, bro. The people that are
Yep.
bitching about I just think of like the short-haired woman, let me see the manager type. Those are the type of people who are trying to bitch. The people who it's just such a small amount of people. But it makes a
It
big
is.
impact it can make a big impact on social media.
Because it goes viral.
Yeah.
That's it. And you're seeing that one. Yeah, for sure.
So it's
Yep.
really not, I don't think we're not so left and right speaking. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the balance is I think there's a lot more people in the middle of shit, but you just hear the voices of the far.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because
And that's where
what's-
social media becomes poisonous. Like because
absolutely.
you see all this shit, but you're only seeing that small percentage of people that are actually using said social platform.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, they have like 1 million plus followers on whatever you're looking at. And they have the biggest audience, but you look at everybody, there could be that one person who's saying one thing and then 500 people with 1,000 followers who are all saying the other thing. Like, I don't know. You can probably just edit that part out because that made 0 sense.
No, I get what you're saying, though.
Facebook has just become a big pool of bullshit to me, honestly. There's just people like reposting these fake ass articles and
Do
stuff.
fucking
No,
research.
you literally just read a title and repost it because it sounds like, oh wow, I agree with that. And
Yeah,
it's just like
and
it's all bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit.
all of it. Like, go fucking type it in on Google. The fact that people are this ignorant with what we have at the palm of our fucking hand, you can't take 30 fucking seconds to go look something up and do your own damn research. It
Anything you
makes
want to
me
know is out
fucking
there.
livid.
But
Makes me
you know what the
fucking-
problem is the whole, and I'm gonna get slightly political here, but my thing with politics is I don't give a fuck. I honestly don't. I'm not gonna vote. I really don't care. You're not gonna talk me into it because right now all it is just two sides just riding with their fucking squad and bitching at the other. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
And that goes with the same thing with that. If something that your side comes out with, you're gonna blindly post it and fucking bitch at the other side about the issue. It's all bullshit, bro. You believe your party's lies and you fucking point out the other person's lies. Like,
Exactly.
just fuck off, man. Fuck off.
It doesn't. I don't get how people don't see this though. How? I don't get how people. It's clear. It's so clear at what they're trying to do. Both parties, the agenda. It's just fucking insane to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've had deep thoughts about this. Am I a sheep because I don't want to be involved in politics? Am I the sheep because I don't want to spend my entire day watching CNN or Fox and just like either bitching at Trump or praising him? No, I don't think I'm the sheep. I think the sheep are the people who are going to blindly join a fucking party and blindly listen to those leader and political affiliations, blindly spew their lies while calling out the other party's lies. Period. You're the fucking sheep.
Those are facts.
You're the fucking sheep. So there it is. I'm not voting. Fuck Trump in 2020. Fuck everybody in 2020. It just doesn't matter, bro. There's not one
Anarchy!
person. There's not one person on this planet that's gonna hold that position of presidency and make a change in this world. Like you know what I'm saying? Not one person is gonna be loved by all sides. Never.
No, it's not.
You're never gonna get 100% approval rating as a president. And the grand scheme of things, when it comes down to an election, is what kind of shit sandwich do you want to eat? Do you want to eat your plain shit sandwich, or do you want to eat the one with corn in it?
I mean, and that's what we saw the last election. That was literally it. Which of these two people is less shitty? And we got what we got. It is what it is. I'm not saying don't vote. I think the biggest thing you could do is vote in your community for certain issues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as a president, bro, like what can they possibly do? The real problems like in the Senate and the House and shit. We don't really have to get into all this. My point is, you guys are fucking sheep. If you're sitting on Facebook reading politics all day from your fucking side, from CNN or Fox or whoever the fuck, and reposting it like it's the truth, like fuck off, man. There's a middle ground. That's where I lie at all times. There's always a middle ground.
The big political problem in this country is that people aren't involved in their own local politics. They're too worried about the big picture and what's going on in the country.
Reposting about
exactly.
Trump.
But what they need to be doing is they need to be looking at themselves in their own towns and their own communities instead of you don't
Like the
always have to
windmill.
think so big.
This is shitty to say too, but I say I'm not going to vote because of that exact reason, Mike. Like, whoever I vote for, it's not going to make a change in how I go about my day-to-day life. It's just really not.
Bro, so I
Exactly.
said this from day one. I said no matter who the president is, every single day I'm gonna get up and do what the fuck I want to do every single
And
day.
hey, 35-year-old Nancy on Facebook reposting. I just made up a name and an age, so if you're Nancy at 35, I'm sorry. But you reposting about some shit, it's just not changing your life. You're just going to sit there and bitch and moan some more. Live your normal day-to-day life and, try to make an impact on the things that are going to influence your community. And I get it.
Hi,
there may
Dylan.
be
This
some
is Nancy. I'm 35, and I just saw on Facebook that you were talking shit about me. Okay, my kids didn't hear me say shit because they're in their room listening to Kids Bop. But I just want you to know that this country has some bad hombres coming in here. Okay, and we need to shut it down and build that wall.
We need to build the wall.
You're absolutely right. Let me tell you, nobody
wow.
knows anything better about walls than me. Believe me.
That's not half bad, bro. You know what?
That's
I'm not going to do an
that was
impression on
pretty
here,
good.
but I take pride in my circle of friends online. I take pride in my impressions, but that was pretty good. I'm not gonna do my thing here, but anyway, just fuck it, bro. I don't know. And I'm in the middle ground on that too. You should. It's important, but at the same time, fuck off. It's not.
Yeah, focus on your local elections, like how you guys voted down the windmill in Baraga County and didn't bring money.
That's
in there.
what
And
we're gonna move.
now
right
your
into that.
town's a ghost town.
Exactly. Tell us about that, Mike. So I'm going to set it up, and if you listen to the podcast, you probably already know about it. The windmill situation in Baraga County. In my eyes, here's how I see it. That company wants to come in and build windmills. It's going to create jobs for the community. It's going to give us some sustainable energy. I vote yes right away. You know what I'm saying? Like that just makes sense to me. So, Mike, I need to hear like some points from the other side, or what kind of went down with this.
Okay, so from my viewpoint of things, and I'm looking at what the company proposed is that they're going to come in, they're going to build. I think they're going to build over 100 windmills up in, like the Huron Mountain area, like CFR land, which is privately owned land that's open to the public. It's owned by a private company, and now there's this group of people who want to keep the windmills from going up. Now, what the windmills are going to do, what they were going to do, is that they were going to provide some short-term jobs to up to like 20 people, and then long-term jobs to like, I think maybe a dozen or less people. So not very many jobs. But what it was going to also do was, so the energy that these windmills produced, they were going to sell it off, and the municipalities in Baraga County were going to receive kickbacks. So, for example, like the road commission, how their annual budget may be $100,000. Say 5 years from the windmills being up, it could have been 200,000.
Yeah.
Or 25 years from the windmills being up, it could have been $500,000.
So just to stop you here, this wasn't going directly. Energy wasn't going directly into town, but it was coming back as form of money.
Yes.
Okay.
So these group of people that didn't want it to happen, they were all their research and all of their arguments against it are all from studies done back in like the early 90s and late 80s. So like automation and technology in this renewable energy sector has jumped leaps and bounds in that 20-25 year span, obviously. But with the population of the county being basically people in their twilight
less
years,
than 2,000 as well as a total.
right?
Yeah.
They're mostly retirees or people who are getting ready to retire. They're focusing on, well, we don't want to look at these. It's going to be bad for conservation. How are we supposed to hunt in this land? And my argument is, how is this group of people going to tell a private company what they can and can't do with their own land?
Wow.
You know?
So the land was privately owned. I didn't know that piece of information. That's big.
Yeah,
That's
it's called
insane.
It's called CFR land. So it's private
like the
forest
rye
land.
fields in Baraga Plains are CFA land.
Exactly. So you can't take like four-wheelers or side-by-sides on them. You can only walk. You can't pick anything up off the ground. You can't cut down any trees. Like it's protected land.
Oh, it's like a conservation thing.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
it's open to the public.
Gotcha.
And but yeah, long story short, it got voted down because of those reasons. And I don't know if it was just, or no, it didn't get voted down. Hold on, let me backtrack here. I got to think. So the vote happened. I believe it did get voted down, but before the vote happened, because this is like a 2-3 year thing that's going on.
Yeah, it goes on for a while.
Goes on for a while. So the company basically is just like, fuck this. Like, this is too much hassle. We're out. So
Really?
they just ended up pulling out.
They said fuck it.
I'm a middle grounder here. Again, well, maybe I'm not. I'm leaning towards hey, do it. But I can see if you're an older person or just whatever the situation is, the UP is a special place and it's a special place to go all over. But I mean, a few windmills ain't gonna hurt anybody.
And when you look, okay, so my big thing is, so the town is dying, right? Only, I think less than 15% of all the land in this county is taxable, because the rest is reservation land. It can't be taxed. There's no tax dollars coming into the county whatsoever.
Yeah.
And what these windmills would have done is bring extra money to these municipalities, the road commissions,
how many windmills are we talking here?
I think, what was it? Like 100, I think.
Okay. So that is a large number. I'll give them that. That's a large number.
Yeah, it's a large number. But I mean, how much
in my mind, I'm thinking like
really
10
coming?
windmills, bro. Like,
no.
I feel you.
It's a pretty large number, and you're not going to see them from town. They're most visible. Actually, they would have been most visible from up in the Keweenaw.
Yeah.
And like up in the Highlands, but you're not going to see them in town. The most populated areas, you're not going to see them.
I mean, here's the thing. I think that eventually shit like that is going to happen. Eventually, all of our land everywhere is going to be, working towards somewhat of a more sustainable future.
Period. But before that happens, like, these little towns and stuff are going to die. Like, everybody's going to move out of there.
Exactly. It's going to die out, and people are smart people with a lot of money are going to move in and make it happen. But I mean, think about the people who leave Baraga County, go get a good education somewhere, and never go back.
You say that, but that's exactly what they tried to do, and it got shut down.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Maybe time will tell if a new company will come back. But yeah, it's just not. I guess the community's strong enough, which is kind of cool in its own way. The community banded together and made something happen one way or another. That's kind of cool to see. And from what I hear, talking to Wolfie about it, is people were pretty. This was an emotional thing. Like,
yeah,
really, really emotional. And
yeah, I almost got into a fight with an old man in a bar about it.
So walk us through that. What is he saying? Like, what is so? I just have yet to hear somebody's convincing argument.
So this guy is just like a crazy guy. He's, I don't even know what he did in his prime, but he's older than dirt now, and he's talking to me, telling me about how we're not going to see any of this money and da 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 da. Like, we won't even see half of it, but we won't see half of the projected numbers. And even if that was the case,
and you're not going to see the fucking windmills, buddy.
Even if we did see half of the projected numbers, it's more than what we already have.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And as for people who actually enjoy living there and want to bring more people into the town and focus on the good things, like how in Baraga County, Lance and Baraga sit right on the water. And during the summertime, the best months out of the year for up here, nobody's coming here. Nobody. And we have great trails for biking, for hiking. We have the highest point in the entire state. And nobody's coming here to see any of this because there's nothing to do. Everything has gone to shit because there's no money to maintain any of this.
Correct.
And his argument is about how it's going to ruin conservation and how the vibrations from the windmills are going to kill off all the forest land. And like, even
the birds,
even then,
I heard the birds argument.
Yeah,
it's going to kill a bunch of birds.
Yeah, so do clean windows, fuckwad. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. All the arguments that I've heard, like, oh, it's an eyesore. Oh, it's going to kill birds. Oh, it's going to sling ice. They're all just dumb. The slinging ice one. Oh, it's going to sling ice off, and it has to be a certain amount of
It's going to
distance
sling
away.
ice in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Exactly, because it's going to be a certain distance away from anybody.
Well,
because of that
right
exact
It's
reason.
right next to my camp. It's right next to my camp. I was like, well, you still can't hunt on that land.
It's regulated that it has to be so far away from these establishments. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sure, maybe asshole, if you're just walking through some random part of the woods in the middle of December, maybe you're going to get hit with some fucking ice, and maybe you deserve it.
So how everybody was worried about not being able to use that land or walk on that land because the windmills are up now, since that company pulled out, the people who own that land, they built a giant fence all around it. Now nobody can go in there.
Really?
Yep. They're like, fuck you guys.
Wow.
We're building a giant fence. Nobody's
Because
allowed in.
they lost out on money on that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Millions of dollars.
Power move. And I guarantee all the people who are bitching, they're not getting up and fucking going through a walk through this forest anyway. Honestly.
No, they're too old. Their hips break.
It's just tough, man. It's tough because, you know, I'm sure we all love the place. It's near and dear to our hearts. Like, it's a special place, man. It's just tough to see because I wish it would kind of move forward and, you know, kind of start making jobs. Like you said, it wasn't going to make a lot of jobs, but there was also a part where, hey, they're going to have to build a road to get here. That's going to give jobs to construction workers in the area. It just goes on and on. You know, it kind of trickles down. I just want to see us move forward where, you know, I don't really have any plans to move back, but people like me could move back and get some sort of good job. But right now, what do you do if you go back? I'm saying like Landsberger specifically, like it's difficult right now, and it's been difficult for a lot of people, and a lot of people have moved out of the area. You know, this started long ago. I just wish we could start moving forward as a community and start building things up. So it just gives us more options, really.
Plus, the continued poverty in like that county has just the civilization there, all the people that still live there are just rotting away. Like all the stereotypical things that come with being broke and having a poor county are happening. Like there's widespread drug addiction. Everybody's an alcoholic. Like there's more like crime is up now. It's crazy.
I mean, it's nothing to fucking do.
Yeah. And I don't want to shit on people who still live back there. Like I love you guys.
I don't either.
But because there are people who are able to keep their nose clean and obviously and still find joy in the things that are left there. And
so if you're one of those people, just sit this one out. We're gonna shit on all the shitty parts.
There's still people who are making the best with what they got.
Yeah,
like my brother lives in Alston, like
right,
him and his wife, and I mean that's who he is. Like that's what,
and that's
like
perfectly
they
fine.
love it out there. You know, that's them. But
it's a great place to live. If you want to live low key, that's where to go. Like living in San Diego for a couple years now, it's like I miss that stuff a lot, honestly. Like I miss living with Wolfie out in the middle of the sticks. Like you can just go outside and not see anybody. Here, I go outside and I'm seeing people all day long. You know, it's just I don't know. I think it's just you know, you got to have a balance, but it's really I just wish our community could start moving forward with this stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And talking about moving forward, I think it was the first recreational marijuana became into play here in Michigan. Not here, but
yeah.
So what was that all about? There was like the first store opening or something at that point.
Yeah, so I think there's like a dozen rec licenses got issued right away.
All downstate, I'm assuming.
Yeah, mostly all downstate.
Shit.
Ann Arbor, Detroit, mostly. Although the first one that's going to be open in the UP is in Negaunee.
It's random.
It's strange. Yeah. It's called the Fire Station.
Wow,
but
love the name.
There's certain regulations, obviously, that you have to go through, like the inventory. They have to have the rec inventory for like 30 days before they can put it for sale.
Okay.
Shit.
So I don't think this fire station has been approved of their rec license yet, but it's in process. Like it's going. But
it's fully legal now. Like it was December 1st. That was the date where hey, we're a green light here.
No, like it was legal to have and grow and smoke as soon as it got voted in.
Mike, I got a question. So, before I forget, can you not walk outside and smoke? Does it have to be in your house or like on your own property? Can you walk outside and like smoke?
Well, like same thing in California, for example. I don't know Michigan, but I'll tell you California. It's just you can't be in public. You know, it has to be. I don't know the exact word or verbiage, but you can't be just smoking weed in some public area.
It'd be the same thing as an open container.
Yeah,
You
drinking,
know,
right?
you
Yeah,
you can't just walk down the street drinking a beer.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Although
Okay.
nobody's gonna say anything to you because for one, it's easily concealed.
What's the
Like,
oh, go ahead.
you're just holding a can in your hand walking down the street, but if you're sitting there smoking a joint, everybody can smell it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of people here, even in Atlanta, it's not legal in the big park, Piedmont Park, do it anyways. I mean, nobody says shit, but that's different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of this scenario where, like, if enough people do it, they can't stop us all.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
can smell it here, certain parts of town you go, and it's not really a big deal, which is perfectly fine. I want to
Right.
get into that though. Mike, what's kind of the vibe up there? Like, what's the vibe in Baraga County? Do people want it? Is there kind of a clash of people wanting it to be recreational or not? What was the vibe up there?
As for Baraga County, I don't know, but I think, like everywhere else, uh, I think the majority of it are finally coming around. The Marquette City Commissioners just had a meeting where they they um, they voted in allowing dispensaries in the township of Marquette or in the city of Marquette, but it needs to be x amount of feet away from a school,
Yeah.
x amount of feet away from a residential district. So that basically takes away anything right in Marquette. You're looking more towards like Harvey, and that's why
Yeah.
the fire station in Nagani is on the outskirts of Nagani off the highway.
Which is fine. You got to follow the regs, and
Yeah.
at least people are thinking forward, and that's the kind of like the progression thing we're talking about. Like, to me, it's good. There's good and bad to marijuana, obviously, and if you're in the wrong environment or situation, maybe you just smoke all day and not do anything. But I think if someone like a place like Bexar County smoked weed as much as they fucking drink alcohol, it'd be a lot better of a place, honestly.
Yep. Now, where like Houghton County, they fucked up with the state. Um, I'm not sure exactly, but I have a friend who works at a dispensary up there, and he said that they they were on their way to get their rec license, but the city of Houghton didn't develop any um what's the word I'm looking for? Like they didn't develop any criteria for being able to have a shop in Houghton, you know?
So they dropped the ball on that for the early start anyway.
Yep. Which is good. I mean, which is going to cost people a lot of money. Where this fire station, as soon as they open up and they're good to go, $1 million first day, easy.
Well, what's crazy is a place like that, it's going to be really hard to inventory because when you're so far away from all these people, there's going to be a ton of people coming to you and buying it and maybe even reselling it or just getting it for their whatever. There's not going to be a ton of people going to that place. It's going to be people getting bulk orders of shit.
You can only buy up to a quarter at a time.
Okay. So that makes sense.
How much
Um,
is it?
What is it, like $70 eighths?
Oh wow.
I know it's insane compared to
That
like
better be
So
off
there
the
some
so there
street.
will
loud.
be a lot of in-person traffic. So wow.
Yeah, there's the black market isn't going to die anytime soon,
Yeah.
but you're not going to
No.
find people who are bending the rules, who are running these businesses.
It's actually crazy.
Um,
I don't know about that place, but places around here, they're legit establishments, man. Like there's like to me, there's no shame in working at a place like that because it's such a professional place. They got security. I don't know what that place is like up there, but you got to go through like a metal detector type system. Use your ID, whatever the situation is. I've never been to a place like that, obviously, but it's a legit establishment.
That's that's like the huge thing I think in the marijuana community is that they want to establish a certain level of professionalism
Exactly.
because there's that taboo out there of, oh, he's just like a stoner, like lackadaisical, doesn't give a
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
like just come on in, buy some weed. But
If you can set the
it's
standard
it's not like
early,
that.
it makes a more positive impact, I would say.
Right. And states like California and Colorado, like the two states and Washington, the first three states who legalized, everything is going to be mirrored off of what they've done.
Perfect. I mean, and there's like
So
millions of
so
dollars going back to these communities from that.
yeah, absolutely. And you look at the prices, if because prices obviously are going to be way higher from a rec dispensary than
Local
just
Joe
off the
Schmo.
street. But if people continuously go and keep buying, and then you're going to start seeing the prices kind of level out
Yeah.
a little bit after probably a few years, honestly.
Well, one of two things needs to happen. It's going to be either they're going to come to their senses and kind of match the market, the black market type of price, which probably unlikely when you go with these bigger businesses, but also there may be a bigger enforcement on the dealing side of that to try and
It's
shut
kind
that
of
down.
it's kind of like on Tommy Boy, how he goes and tries to sell the brake pads to that old man, and he's just like, it doesn't have the guarantee on the box. I'm buying the guarantee. The customer wants to see the guarantee. And that's what you get at a dispensary, is that you're getting the guarantee that this has gone through state regulations. It's been tested by a state of like official who is licensed to do this kind of stuff. And um it's guaranteed good stuff, where you buy it off the streets, you don't have any of that. Like, I know somebody who bought a quarter of weed. It checked all the boxes, smelled good, looked good, like all all the stuff that makes a good bag of weed. This was a good bag of weed. They went and they smoked it and didn't get high. It didn't do what it was
CBD.
promoted to do.
Yeah, yeah. So when you go to a shop, you're going to get what you're getting.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a whole reason of why it's priced higher than what you would get it from the guy down the street.
Yeah. It's just tough up there. Like around here, you could go down a lot of streets and just find these dispensaries and stuff. But up there, when you got one in, maybe they have a few in the entire UP, but when there's one in Nagani and you live in Houghton or Baraga or whatever, it's just, are you going to drive to Nagani? I don't know.
You have one in like 150-mile radius.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting, but at least, again, we're moving forward. Things are going forward. And again, think about the drinking that's done in Baraga County. People love to shit on, some people in Baraga County, I should say, love to shit on the weed thing, and because their only experience of it is people getting high and not doing anything, or just, there's no...
Right. I work hard. I got my job because I didn't smoke weed.
Exactly.
And I passed a drug test.
To them, there's no such thing as a
I'm a
hardworking
hardcore
pothead.
alcoholic.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you leave work every day and get fucking shit-faced
and then drive around
home.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'd rather the people who are drinking just smoke, and it would be a lot better of a place, but I'm just glad we're going in that direction. And what I'm also proud about is there's a lot of people, like there's a group of girls from my graduation class that went downstate, got education, and came back and work in like the local like child youth system with the tribe and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And then somebody like Jake Pudula, he's getting into politics and stuff. That's just really cool for me to see, like just younger people getting into shit in the community, making change, whether you agree with it or not, whether you're with their party or not. Just making a change, man, making the place better in their own way. And it's just really good to see, man. The community's growing in a small sense, anyway.
And that's not to say that you have to be young to do these kind of things, because it's never too old to start something.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But like, I think that's what this area in the Upper Peninsula needs, are more proactive people.
Yeah. Well, I also think of somebody like Mike Lottie.
People who need to think outside of the box, of step out of their comfort zone for a minute and try something different. Because if what you're doing now isn't working, maybe it's time to switch up and do something else.
I mean, if you got all this time to bitch on Facebook about problems in the community, then just go out and do it.
Right.
Like somebody like Mike Lottie, who manages the Pines and he's running for tribal council, things like that, man. And he's a good friend of mine, so I think about it a lot. But it's just so cool for people that I know to be coming up in these positions around the community, and it's just really good to see. Maybe it was going to happen regardless, but I'm just really proud of the people who are going out and trying to make a change and just doing the right thing around there. It's pretty easy to get sucked into a life where you don't really do anything there. It's really easy to go to work and hit a bar and then go home after. You know what I'm saying? And get sucked into that same cycle over 20 years.
Yep. That's if you want to be successful, you got to grind 100%.
Absolutely.
And that's just like the circle of life, pretty much, is how you're talking about Michael Lottie coming up, and now he's trying to be more involved in like the tribal stuff. Like, that's because there's elders now who are getting out of the tribal stuff, and now there needs to be a new wave, a new generation of people coming in.
And that's probably more it than just like me being proud of these people for doing it. It's just the cycle, the new cycle. But
it doesn't mean that you can't be proud of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're choosing to do it, and good on them for doing so.
Yeah, it's just I'm just really proud of all those people, man. I guess that's it for this week's episode. We will be back. We're going to be back on our normal Tuesday schedule of releasing the podcast. You'll see this one on Tuesday.
Will we though?
We'll see. I would like to hope that we are, but things come up in our average Joe lives, so we're going to try to stay on schedule, get them out every Tuesday. Appreciate the support as always. People, any messages I get and stuff, it's just really cool to see, man. And we do put a little bit of time into this as far as research and just what things we want to talk about, things we want to touch on, and then we just flow from there. And we're getting better and better every week, and these are getting more fun to do. So we will see you guys next week. We're out.